Hey everybody, Harry here, coming to you from my front porch here out in the country in Suwannee County, Florida. It's kind of windy, breezy day, overcast, but nice out, spring day, enjoying it. Kids are inside watching television. They're home from school for till the 15th of April so far because of what's going on, the COVID-19 epidemic going around. Scary times, man. Scary times. One of my people that I used to work with at Walmart, he went on to move on to Colorado and stuff and work. And his daughter, who's a young girl, has been diagnosed with COVID-19. And so prayers are with Eric and his family right now. And so it's the first person I know personally that who has it. So scary times. Prayers for everybody. Italy, especially, man, they're getting hit really hard with this as well. It's China, uh, New York, everywhere, man. Just be safe distancing. It's hard for me. Jay mentioned that that I work at Walmart. He works at a car dealership. He doesn't interact with customers as much. I interact with customers every single day, the people I work with, and even though we clean and try to be safe, there's it's not a guarantee that you're not going to get it. So we just got to be careful. James working at a prison, a neighbor. Um, James working at a prison, several prisons here in Florida. The guards have come down with the COVID-19 virus. So scary times, man. Just be safe. Be careful. Social distancing. Wash your hands. Um, Stay at home. Watch movies. Listen to music. Clean your house. Do something. Anyway, so that's last few days. Last week I've been working and then just staying in and not trying to do extra stuff. We did take the kids to the park the other day. Um, Surprised there was actually some people there. So, anyways, let's go over the movies I watched. I won't try to be as long and detailed or whatever, but I watched quite a few. Some of them are double features. You can hear my daughter laughing. She's watching YouTube videos on her mother's phone in her bedroom, so you can hear her from here. So I've been on I go on these kicks where I'll watch certain movies. Like I just got off a Rocky thing. Seems like Rocky's probably like my favorite film series now, besides Star Wars. I keep talking about it every time, but now I'm doing the Quentin Tarantino thing. I'm trying to watch all the movies that he had made he has directed over the years, not the ones he co-wrote or whatever, or written screenplays for, like True Romance or Natural Born Killers and stuff like that, but movies he's actually directed. So Dust to Dawn is not in there. So you'll see a few Tarantino films in here, and I'm going in order as he made them. So when I watch St. Patrick's Day, what I do every St. Patrick's Day is a ritual. I watch The Quiet Man, John Ford's classic, with John Wayne, Barry Fitzgerald, Arthur Shields, Ward Bond, uh, Maureen O'Hara, of course, the big part in that movie. Yeah, Victor McLaglen. Great classic film from 1952. If you watched it, I have it on Blu-ray. Olive Films released it, and it looks very beautiful. I remember watching this on television because my grandparents are from Ireland, and my grandmother was the only one I knew because my grandfather died about 9 years before, 11 years before I was born. He had cancer, and anyways, it would always come on TV, and we would watch it, and she just loved it to death, even though she said that people in Ireland don't act that way. I guess maybe not her part of Ireland, but she was from Donegal. So we watched The Quiet Man, but I remember watching it on television too, and how bad the prints are. I always talk about this as like when you watch those old films, and to me it's sort of like a nostalgia thing now, because if I've seen a movie or watch a movie and it's in pristine, clear condition, it amazes me. It's good to see a film like that, but also if I watch a film that's a bad print or whatever, maybe even a DVD where they didn't restore the film, kind of brings back memories. And the color used to be so bad on the Quiet Man, the prints that I would see on there, the pictures would be so dark. You know, John Wayne had a tan when he made this movie, and he looked like he was from India when you watched the print on TV, and then they on the old television stations. So, anyways, then I watched a blaxploitation film. I've been watching them. I was going through a bunch of them at one time, but now kind of slacked off a little bit because I'm doing Tarantino and I did the Rocky. But I watched this one. This is Lawrence Fishburne's film debut, called Cornbread, Earl, and Me, released in 1975, directed by Joseph Manduke, which also has Moses Gunn, Rosalind Cash, Bernie Casey, Antonio Fargas, Stack Pierce, and it's about a young man who is going to go to college. He lives in a bad neighborhood in Los Angeles, and he is a basketball player. He got a scholarship to go play basketball at Michigan State, and he gets shot by two police officers by a case of mistaken identity. The police are covering up the crime. Lawrence Fishburne is about 12, 13 maybe years old in this movie. Very young. So, doesn't look like the same Lawrence Fishburne now, but it is definitely him. But, yeah, he was just, as it says here, barely a teenager at this time. Good film. One of the better ones. It had more of a social conscious thing to it. Like most of the blaxploitation films, you know, they had all the pimp outfits and beating women and drug dealing and stuff like this. This is more showing social injustice by the policemen trying to cover up the crime that they accidentally shot the wrong person who was who had raped another woman, who had raped a woman. So that was Cornbread, Earl, and Me. Then I rented, because it wasn't in the red box. I don't buy, I can't afford to buy new movies all the time, especially when I'm taking care of a house full of kids. So I tried to red box this movie. It wasn't in the red box at my job, and I have a Vudu account because that's where I save my digital codes for the films as backup in case something happens. I can watch it on Vudu. And anyways, and I never rented a movie off of there, so I had some credits. You buy Twizzlers at Walmart, and they give you a credit for like $1.50. So added it on there, and actually I got to watch Uncut Gems for free on Vudu, which just came out last year with Adam Sandler. Probably my second favorite Adam Sandler movie. I used to like him in the early days when I was younger and watched his films. I thought they were goofy, silly, and now I can't. His movies have gone ridiculous. But anytime he plays a serious role, I really love his films when he does serious films, and this is one of them. Uncut Gems. It's about a guy just makes poor decisions throughout this whole movie. He has a gambling issue, and he has this rock with gems in it that come from Ethiopia, I believe, and he's trying to get it to where he can make a whole bunch of money. He owes a loan shark some money, and they're after him for it. But it also stars Julia Fox. Can't see here. Lakeith Stanfield, Idina Menzel, Kevin Garnett, Judd Hirsch from Taxi, John Amos, from Good Times. He was in there very quickly. But anyways, good film, very, very excellent film. I gave that 4.5 stars on that. So I rented that on Vudu. Me and the wife watched it, and we actually quite enjoyed it. And good scenes of New York City in there as well. I guess I didn't give you the other one stars, but The Quiet Man got 5 stars. Always gets 5 stars for me. Cornbread Earl and Me, I gave 4 stars. Then after Uncut Gems, I watched Jackie Brown. Picked up after Pulp Fiction. I watched the third film directed by Quentin Tarantino. I gave that 4 stars. And that's Samuel L. Jackson in there, Pam Grier, Robert De Niro is in it. Probably, I hear mixed reviews on Jackie Brown. People either love it or hate it. I'm sort of in the middle on it. I do enjoy it. I think Samuel L. Jackson gave a great performance in that film. But I thought it was a good film. I gave it 4 stars. And then the other night, my daughter rented a movie from the Redbox, Jumanji: The Next Level, and I was about to watch something else, and then she said, "Well, I rented Jumanji," and so I went ahead and watched Jumanji: The Next Level with The Rock, Kevin Hart, Jack Black, Karen Gillian. Danny DeVito's in it, and very briefly, Danny Glover. I gave that 3 stars. It was okay. Give me the Robin Williams Jumanji any day. I like that. This is more up to date, but it was okay. It was fun. Then I watched The Lady Killers. That was the film I was about to watch, and my daughter said, "Oh, I got that." So, Lady Killers is 1955, not the Tom Hanks version. I'd never seen this film before. I had seen the Tom Hanks one first. British film, directed by Alexander McKendrick. Stars Alec Guinness, Cecil Parker, Herbert Lom. Remember Herbert Lom? He played in all the Pink Panther movies as Inspector, not Clouseau. Anyways, the police chief. Peter Sellers is in it. One of the main reasons I watch it, I love Peter Sellers. Katie Johnson, Jack Warner. And it says here, a gang of 5 diverse oddball criminal types ran a 2-room apartment in an old house on the London cul-de-sac from an octogenarian widow with 3 pet parrots. And they disguise themselves as musicians, that they come up and they practice in the house, but they're actually planning an armored car robbery. Kind of goofy characters in the film. It's more a comedy, black comedy to it. They like dropping bodies. In the Tom Hanks version, they drop them off a bridge and they go onto a garbage barge. And here they go onto a train. Train goes by, a rail car, and they land in there. I gave that 4 stars. I really enjoyed that one. So I'm looking forward to watching that Lavender Hill Mob gang. What else stars Alec Guinness. So that was The Lady Killers. Then back on to Quentin Tarantino. I watched both Kill Bill Volume 1 and Kill Bill Volume 2 all in one night. 4 hours. That's one thing about Tarantino's films. As long as they are, they don't seem that long. When I watched both Kill Bills, it didn't seem like 4 hours. They flew by pretty well. So I think most people know David Carradine was in that film. Uma Thurman, of course, plays the bride. Great flick. I actually loved it more than I did the first time around watching it, just because of just how crazy it is. A lot of homages to a lot of different films in this, but that's what Tarantino does best: homages to other films. Then I watched a Clint Eastwood movie called Richard Jewell that came out last year. I gave that 4 stars. Jay mentioned, I guess he did a pickup on this. He said it was a bomb at the box office, or I guess it didn't do well for Clint Eastwood. I definitely liked this one better than I liked the 513 Paris, or 1513 Paris one, which was okay. But this one was a lot better than that. But I guess nobody was wanting to watch about this here, and I guess not a lot of big promotion on it either. So keep going. Clint Eastwood would be 90 years old this year, so shit, man, keep it going, man. Then last night I had a double feature. I watched. I posted a thing in the group, top 5 action heroes action actors from the 80s. Chuck Norris come up on a few of them. Never was a big Chuck Norris fan. I liked a few of his movies, like The Force of One and stuff. And so I figured I hadn't seen this one since Video Home Service, whatever, VHS days. Code of Silence. I gave it 3 stars. And I agree with most people, because I read the reviews on this and what other people said. This was probably the best best Chuck Norris performance he ever gave. Because in every movie he's in, he is usually wooden. There's not much to him, to his acting in his films. And I remember him in Delta Force and Missing in Action. Those are some of my favorite films from Chuck Norris. But I actually enjoyed this one. I hadn't seen it in, 35 years or so. So it has Mike Genovese, Henry Silva. I remember him from Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, the movie from the 1979. I forget the actor's name. Dennis Farina's in here. This was his film debut. This was filmed in Chicago, and Dennis Farina was actually a police officer in Chicago. So, and he made a film and he made a career out of it afterwards. But the actor who plays, there's a actor who accidentally shot a young teenager and then left a gun, saying that the gun was drawn on him. Anyways, that guy was in Home Alone. I can't think of his name, but he plays a guy, a dirty, filthy rat. The little video that Kevin was watching. Anyways, I gave that 3 stars, directed by Andrew Davis. Code of Silence from 1985. We'll be catching up on maybe some more Chuck Norris movies here in a little bit. And then back to Tarantino going. I watched Death Proof last night. I gave that 3.5 stars. Kurt Russell in it as Mike, the stuntman Mike, Zoe Bell, Rosario Dawson, Vanessa Ferlito, Sidney Poitier, Rose McGowan, Jordan Ladd, bunch of different people. Quentin Tarantino is actually in it, plays a bartender. Crazy ass movie. And but I like how he did it, the feel of it. I didn't care for it the first time I watched it, but I always enjoy it, and I always love the ending of that film. So those are the films I've watched. The Quiet Man, Cornbread Earl and Me, Uncut Gems, Jackie Brown, Jumanji, The Next Level, The Lady Killers, Kill Bill Volume 1, Kill Bill Volume 2, Richard Jewell, Code of Silence, and Death Proof. Now, y'all can go take your naps. Thank you for watching. Everybody be safe out there. Social distancing. Wash your hands. Wash your face. Don't go out unless you need to. Bye.